did Bryan know this was, when you first hear Avalon, you don't think of, oh, this is the end of the band, blah, blah, like in the moment. But then, like it starts off with more than this. And, it sounds like he knew this, when you look at it, he's saying, I could feel at the time there was no way of knowing, it was fun for a while. Um, People can interpret that as like, okay, that, he knew this was the end of the band, but did he when they were recording
That's
it?
an interesting question. I think that there were tensions within the band that after the Siren album, which is the fifth one, the last track on that album is just another high, which also seemed like a kind of swan song. And then after that album was done, there was a hiatus, and Paul Thompson, the drummer, left, although he's part of the tour that's coming up, and change in personnel. And then they put out 3 more records, which became more and more sublated, more and more about his kind of uchu, or whatever you want to call it, quality. They put out Avalon, and it was part of the calculation and part of the Bahamas and New York experience was actually to try and create a record that would actually work in the United States. So that somewhere in between Rumors and the Eagles, Hotel California or something, this would fit, right?
Right.
And it did succeed. And then suddenly they had to deal with the fact that they were a huge act and were doing big venues in the United States. 14,000, I think, was the top. And they toured around, and Manzanera was not happy with the fact that this album had taken off, but during the process of mixing it, a lot of the guitar was taken out. So that with that opening track, right, More Than This, you're down to Grill Marcus talks about this, but the solo at the end of that track is like dee-doo, dee-doo. It's like 2 notes 3 times, right? It was, and this is somebody who could really develop, long passages. And the grind of that tour, which isn't the kind of grind that other bands took, but it was a grind for them, and they shook hands before getting on the Concorde in New York back to London. And it was sort of like handshakes all around, and that was fun while it lasted. And they concluded the end of the tour. It was over.
Yeah. They
went back into the studio to see if anything would happen. A couple years after that, they all got together again, and it was just one day in Avonmore, and nothing really happened after that. So, and then since then, well, it got more and more impossible for them to actually think about coming back together. So I think that there was something about the fact that he had taken over the group so extensively. He was so image conscious that even on the video for Avalon, you see, and it's a video that apparently he hates, but it's that kind of odd, somewhere in some mansion somewhere with the folk and all.
Oh, I love that shot.
He's dancing with this model who was born on the exact same day as I am. So I actually wrote to her about the experience of her doing that music video. But they actually used a model, a guy in a tuxedo who actually played drums. He wasn't at all one of the drummers with the band. He was so interested in a certain look. So that kind of thing, I think, to some degree, I don't know if it distanced him from the others, but it was very much his vehicle.